right now, outside of Addison and A-Chain, uh, Jayden Reed is tied for third in total touchdowns by a rookie. And to be completely honest, I'm going to be giving you a breakdown about Jayden Reed in this video, why the pick was, a little up in the air at the time, but has turned out to be really good. So Jayden Reed as a prospect was pretty slept on by this draft community. Everybody was all over QJ, JSN, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. And there were four guys I was really in on in this class, and those four guys were Jackson Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston, Marvin Mims, and Jayden Reed. And the first three looked to be like huge process misses by me to this point. But JSN is buried behind guys in Seattle on a very crowded offense that can't really seem to get going with Geno at this time of year. QJ, everything looks terrible. Marvin Mims does look good with the ball in his hands, but the Broncos' offense has been very weird, to say the least, thus far. But Jayden Reed has become pretty much an explosive play merchant for the Packers. Or merchant's not the right word, but his game is being explosive, and that's absolutely great. It's exactly what the Packers needed to get back on track. So basically, just given the track record of this team and, their development and drafting of wide receivers beyond the first round, because it's not in Green Bay's philosophy to really take these guys in round one. They usually go defense, and with the way the modern NFL is shifting, I think you're going to see this more and more teams go defense with their first round picks. Buffalo has done it quite a bit. I'm trying to think. Cincinnati has done it the past few drafts as well, ever since they got Chase. Kansas City very frequently goes defense now. Karlaftis, McDuffie, and then I'm blanking on the name, were their most three recent first round picks, and they were all on defense within the past 2 years. But point is, after the first round, anything is fair game for the Green Bay Packers. And they used their first round pick this year to draft Lucas Van Ness, the edge. So with Jordan Love getting his first year starting with the Green Bay Packers, you're obviously going to need to surround him with some talent. And who do you surround him with? You surround him with, a good running game, or at least what was looking to be good before Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon have kind of fallen off. But the surrounding weapons, over the past 2 years, they've added Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jayden Reed, Luke Musgrave, and Dontavian Wicks deserves a mention here as well. And this Packers receiving core is really young and really slept on. Over his last 2 seasons at Michigan State, Jayden Reed had over 46 explosive plays, which I'm pretty sure, without even looking at it, is the most in the country. I don't care if it's guys entering the league this year or next year, or guys who came out this previous draft. There's absolutely no one, besides maybe some random running back from a D3 school who gets like 500 touches a game, that is going to be taking over 46 explosive plays over the past 2 years. That is absolutely absurd. And I feel like the reason we kind of slept on Jayden Reed was because he was a late declare, and Michigan State, their passing attack was kind of anemic last year for the most part. But if you're able to carve out a chunk of, work in any sort of offense, that is what we have really looked at over the past few years. And it gained Jayden Reed second-round draft capital. It gained him capital above guys like Rashee Rice, Marvin Mims, Puka Nacua, and Tank Dell, who have ended up being really good, surprisingly. But yeah, so what Green Bay's building is absolutely special because Jayden Reed is their new super weapon. You have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs on the outside, and you have Jayden Reed in the slot. And this is what Green Bay does, right? All of their second-round wide receivers have been steals over the past few years. Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, now Jayden Reed, and, oh yeah, by the way, Christian Watson last year too. And the Dobbs, Watson, and Reed trio basically reminds me of the Jennings, Jordy Nelson, and Randall Cobb trio that they had in the early 2010s, and I hope it turns out better for them this time around, because ultimately the Packers in the early 2010s were the dynasty that never was. But Jordan Love, he's coming on. He's really coming onto the scene. He has positive EPA this year, but to be completely honest, for the first few weeks of the season, I thought his positive EPA was a product of him being the ultimate high variance quarterback, because he was 8th in expected points added, but bottom 30s, or no, bottom 20s in success rate. Therefore, I didn't think he was like actually that good. But the game is slowing down for him. And by the way, if you watch him on film, he looks a lot like the quarterback he ended up replacing in Green Bay, especially the past few weeks when they've really got going. They shocked the world with that Thanksgiving win in Detroit. But Jayden Reed on reverse plays is literally like chef's kiss, especially because he might already be their best wide receiver. I know Christian Watson's had a bit of a slow start this year, but Dobbs is inconsistent between the 20s. He's very good, very, very good red zone player. And, people like to, shit on Dontavian Wicks because he ran a 4.62, which is considered slower. But I don't know. He's also really coming onto the scene, and it's good that, Love is developing chemistry with all these guys. I don't know, and sorry to any Chargers fans or Carolina fans who are watching this video, but I think it is absolutely hilarious that Quentin Johnston and Jonathan Mingo tricked everybody into believing that they were worthy of higher draft capital than, all those guys mentioned in what looks to be a very deep receiving class. Okay, I understood the QJ hype. There's a video on my channel about him. But Jonathan Mingo, woof, I don't really know how you get that one wrong. But yeah, this was a really good job by the Packers front office by selecting Jayden Reed. Really, really proud of what they've been able to do, even though I'm not really a Packers fan. But this team could make a run in the NFC North. The division race is over this year with Detroit having that chokehold on it. But Green Bay could sneak into a wild card spot this postseason with, a weaker NFC. And I can guarantee you that this is a Packers team that nobody wants to be playing come January, especially if Love continues to develop. Matt LaFleur is completely undefeated in December as the head coach of the Packers. So yeah, I think it is absolutely incredible what they've been able to build so far. And they got an absolute steal with their second round pick this past season. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.